So this is Baruch Fleischman. I'm here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel in a different location than I am most of the time here at Miami Beach right now. And this is the Zohar for the week, Parshas Bo. The question that the Zohar has been dealing with is whether or not the Satan has a free hand to just hurt people for nothing. We all know people who suffer, and we ourselves suffer. So is it true that this suffering just happens for no reason at all? Is that possible? So on Rosh Hashanah, the Zohar has told the story that in Rosh Hashanah, the Pamalia Shama'ala, the heavenly host of angry angels and the Jews all presented themselves before Hashem and were going to bring a massive accusation against the Jews for all the sins that we've done. And amongst that group was the great master accuser of all, which we call the Satan. And so the question is that what was the Satan going to do? He was going to really come and nail the Jews and try to really hurt us and benefit himself as a result of it. So we see that the Zohar is asking the question that what is the Satan going to be able to do? Because Hashem changed the subject and he asked the Satan, where have you been? The Satan says, well, I've been around and I looked around in the land. So the Mata points out that the word land, Eretz, always refers when it's by itself. It doesn't say it's like say Eretz Canaan or Eretz, any different kinds of languages. Always refers to the land of Israel, meaning that he was really looking at the Jews. Because what you want to get at is the bridge between infinity or the eternality and human beings, and that's done that's the Jewish people. That's what we're capable of doing, but not necessarily always doing what we can. So the world is a tough place. So the question is the Satan be able to run roughshod over the world? So that was our Zohar yesterday. The Zohar today says, V'yomer Hashem al Satan. Well, we'll read what it said yesterday. V'yana Satan es Hashem v'yomer mishum mishut ba'aretz. And I was traveling around in the world. Eretz refers to Eretz Yisrael. Mikana Lifna, from here we learn the Yeshuva, the Ara Ismasa, the Sitra Achra, that the civilization is given over to the Sitra Achra, in other words, the opponents of Kedusha. It's given over to the worst elements. Bar Ara the Yisrael B'Luchudor, with the exception of the Jewish people. Came in the Mishut Ba'aretz, and we'll just go along in this way, and we'll say that since it says that I was traveling in the world, looking at the Aretz, meaning Eretz Yisrael, Ashkaf Kucha Baricha Shoda was able to see from this. The boy, the Mehebed, the Latorah Halaycha, the Yisrael, that he really wanted to come and make a tremendous complaint against the Jews. Miyad B'Yom Hashem al Satan. So immediately Hashem said to the Satan, Hasanta Libachal al Avdei Iyuv. Did you put your thoughts, your mind on my soul, my servant Iyuv? Because there's no one like him in the land. So the Shem saw that this was a moment where he could entice the Samach Mem, that is the Satan, to go after somebody else. Because that's what he wants to do. He b'mashi is asek, that he's really looking to punish somebody. And once he mentioned Ehu's name, then he said he left the Jewish people. He separated himself from the accusation that he was about to make up in the heavens on Rosh Hashanah. Now the Zohar goes on, and this is the part we're learning today, but now this particular story we've heard before and we've talked about. This is a story which is analogous to this story. The Raya, the boy of the Me'ever Nara. There was a shepherd who wanted to cause to pass over, in other words, to ford on his sheep, to ford a river. So the story goes on, and I think maybe the Mata will flesh it out a little bit. So the story goes on, and it says that what did he do? He took one big, really healthy, very healthy sheep, and he put it in a place that the wolves would be able to go after. Miyad is Azek Behaku Sultan. And the Sultan immediately got involved with that. And he didn't accuse the Jews. Now the question is, I didn't finish out the story. So we have to read the Mathematica Devash, and hopefully he'll have the story here for us. So he said, this is a midrash in Shmos Rabbah. The Raya the boy the Me'ever on the Bechad Na'ara. Marshal the Roa Shahoya Ma'avid Sona Benachar. So he was fording he had this flock of sheep, and he was about to ford the river. Bazev, then a wolf came. His Garas Batzon, and he was going to start attacking the sheep. Roa Shahoya Baki Masma Asa. So this Roa, this shepherd, who was a wise shepherd, Ma'asa, what did he do? So he took a young lamb, but a big one that was really big, and they gave it over to the wolf. And he said, let him be occupied with this. Let him do everything that he had to do with this one. We'll take the rest of the flock across the river. And then after that, I will bring all of them across. So the same thing was about the Jews when we left Mitzrayim. So the Malach Amav, the Malach, that is the Samach Mem, which was another word for the Satan. The Satan said he was standing there to make accusations at the Jews. So he said before HaKodesh Baruch Hu, until this moment, these people that you're going to make into your special nation have been idolaters. And you're going to split the sea for them? So what did the Kodesh Baruch Hu do? No, he's not denying this fact. The Kodesh Baruch Hu not denying the fact that we were idolaters, that we come from idolatrous people, that we separated ourselves from them, but we fell back into it in Mitzrayim. So he said, Lochem esayam ma asa Kodesh Baruch Hu masalo es iyuv. He gave the other side iyuv. Shehoyim yodoi paro, because biwatse paro, because Iyuv was a very powerful man in Egypt. He was one of the chief advisors of Paro. Amalo. Hino biyado. He says, look, these Jews, they're in your hands. Amakodesh Baruch HaShuchum is Asek im Iyuv, so he says, Amalo hino biyado. I subtract that wrong. He says, Amalo hino biyado. He says, so therefore, he said to the Sultan, here he is, he's in your hands, take it. Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu Adshuhum is Asek im Iyuv. So while he's busy with Iyuv, Israel Olam Liyam Jordan, the Jews will go into the sea. He goes go down into the sea, and they'll come out on the other side. And then after that, I'll see what's going to be done to save Iyuv. But first, let's see what happens. Let's get the Jews through. Miadis Asek Sultan in Iyuv. So immediately the Sultan went to work on Iyuv. To say about the Jews. Now, what does this actually say about us? It tells you a little bit. It's truth about us that maybe we were at that time deserving not to be saved, and maybe there was other times as well. But the Kodesh Baruch Hu knows us because He knows our potential. This is Baruch Fleischman. I am at the Tikkun Elevator Kolel, and this is the Shiur on Parshas Bo.